Hey everybody, we're going down this road talking about toxins because I want you to be an educated consumer. Not because I'm trying to scare everybody, but because when you walk into a store and you pick up something off the shelf, I want you to flip it over, read the label, and know what you're buying. Know what you're bringing home and putting into your environment. Know what you're putting on your skin, which they know anything you put on your skin is in your bloodstream in measurable quantities within 26 seconds. This is a quick thing that happens from the outside to the inside. So it matters what you're putting on your skin, okay? So I want to talk to you today and show you Young Living actually has a mineral sunscreen that is 100% completely toxin-free. It comes in SPF 10 and SPF 50. And I'm going to tell you about the sunscreen a little bit. But first, since we're talking about toxins, I want to tell you what's not in this sunscreen, and I want to tell you a toxin to look out for. And it is in pretty much all of the sunscreens that are commercially available on the market. That stuff is nasty. You have a much higher chance of getting cancer from the sun than you have a much higher chance of getting cancer from the sunscreen than you're going to get it from the sun. Okay, they have taught us and fear-mongered us into lathering these chemicals all over our body to repel the sun. And at the same time, those chemicals are going to make us very, very sick. And one of the ingredients is Oxybenzone. I'm not even kidding you. Walk into your pharmacy, and especially the cheap stuff you're going to find at the dollar store, flip it over, and if Oxybenzone is on there, put it away and get out of there. You do not want that stuff on your skin. Just do a Google search of skin damage caused by sunscreen. You don't want to be one of those people who has a reaction. But let's talk about what it does to us internally, because Oxybenzone as an ingredient is highly, highly absorbable by the skin. There's other chemicals, depending on the size of the chemicals. Some things don't have as easy of a time penetrating our skin. It's the same thing is true with essential oils. A fatty oil like coconut oil or olive oil doesn't get into our skin as easily because the molecules are so big, but an essential oil flies right in because the molecules are so tiny. It is absolutely no different when you're talking about the synthetic world of chemicals. There's very, very large chemicals that may not penetrate the skin barrier. Many of them do, and the small ones absolutely do. Oxybenzone is one of the ones that shoots straight through your skin and hits your bloodstream like almost instantaneously. So look for it on sunscreen labels. It is known, also very well known, to cause allergic reactions. So when you see, if you Google those pictures, and I'm going to warn you, it's not pretty, of people having reactions to Oxybenzone and to sunscreen, well, just Google it, because you won't want to ever put that stuff on you or your kids ever again. So let's talk about EWG, the Environmental Working Group, rates Oxybenzone as an 8. On a scale of 1 to 9, it's an 8 as far as toxicity. It's bad juju. It's not just in the red zone, it's in the like red zone. You don't want this stuff on you. So basically, an active ingredient in sunscreen takes two forms. It's either going to be a mineral filter or it's going to be a chemical filter. Oxybenzone obviously falls into the chemical category that we're talking about, right? Young Living sunscreen is a, let's see, does it say on there? Mineral sunscreen, right? Okay, so what does it do? Well, 96% of Americans have Oxybenzone in their bloodstream, so we know that it is in their adolescent boys with increased Oxybenzone levels. Guess what? They have very low and plummeting testosterone because it acts as an endocrine disruptor. We know endocrine is our hormone system. Our hormones regulate everything in our body, including testosterone, including reproductive systems, including our moods, including our sleep, including everything. Hormones are the chemical messengers in our body that tell our cells what to do. It tells our cells how to behave. It tells our cells when to do something to benefit us and when to do something to harm us and when to do something, whatever. They're just the chemical messengers. They just produce the message. The cell just executes orders. Well, when you have a chemical in your body that is producing a hormone-like message and it's attaching to a cell and telling that cell what to do, the cell just receives orders and executes, and that's when the harmful side effects kick in. The cell doesn't know any better. It looks like a hormone, it talks like a hormone, it acts like a hormone, I'm gonna listen to it. And it starts doing whatever that fake hormone is telling it to do. The problem is, one, the body didn't ask it to do whatever, the cell to do whatever that instruction was. So it's probably unneeded, unnecessary, and likely detrimental. And secondly, because it's a chemical messenger that comes from outside of us, it doesn't have an off switch. So that cell just keeps on executing whatever orders it's been told to do. And next thing you know, you're dealing with dis-ease or symptoms of some sort because everything's out of balance. So that's what happens when you're dealing with these endocrine disruptors and kind of a general way of how they work in your body. So with adolescent boys who are using this sunscreen and they have decreased testosterone, and this is Center for Disease Control has this data. What does that look like? How does depressed testosterone affect young men? Why don't you do a little Google research on that and see all the different things that are happening, and you may just look at our culture at large and be like, very interesting. Also, oxybenzone is a major contributing factor to increased melanoma. Oh, people, we're lathering this stuff all over our skin to protect us from the sun so that we won't get melanoma, and what do you know? Oxybenzone, the very stuff we're using, increases our chances for melanoma. Let's seriously, people, this is a big deal. Sunscreen is nasty stuff if it's not the natural, organic, mineral-based, essential oils infused products on the market. You're better off to just try to avoid the sun. So again, endocrine disruptors, oxybenzone, similar to estrogen, it does have a direct link to breast cancer. That has been shown. Lots of bad juju with oxybenzone. And again, it's a number 8 on the toxicity scale, and it's in sunscreen. Why am I screaming this right now? Because summer's right around the corner. It's April as of the filming of this video. I know we're all going to be out there on our boats and in the beaches and our bathing suits and the swimming pool and all of these different wonderful, fun summer activities, and you're going to want to hide yourself from the sun, and that is wise to cover if you can. Wear a hat, put on some long sleeves. There's all kinds of different things. Sit under an umbrella, use a natural sunscreen. And I'm going to leave you with the Young Living sunscreen, which is a mineral-based, not a chemical-based sunscreen. And let me read to you. I need my reading glasses. Just kidding, I don't have any yet. But let me tell you what is in here. I am kind of doing this small print. Ready? Grapeseed oil, coconut oil, tapioca starch, beeswax. We've got, and let me get to the oils down here. All kinds of wonderful natural jojoba oil, helichrysum oil, lavender oil, I can't pronounce this. Picea mariana. I'm not sure what that is, but it's a plant because it's a leaf oil. Canaga oil, carrot seed oil, sunflower oil, calendula flower, chamomile, boswellia sacra, which is sacred frankincense, raspberry seed oil, Virola sebifera seed oil, so I don't know what that exact plant is, and Mauritia flexuosa fruit oil. Are you guys hearing all of the natural products that are in here? So it comes in SPF 10, it comes in SPF 50. I'm going to leave you with this thought. What is SPF? SPF is your sun protection factor. All that means is you take that number and you multiply it by the amount of time that you can be in the sun without burning. So for me, I can be in the sun for probably 40 minutes without burning. So let's just round that to now. Let's say I can be in the sun for an hour without burning. SPF 10 means I can be in the sun for 10 hours without burning. If yours is 10 minutes, multiply that by 10, that's 100 minutes in the sun without burning. Well, guess what? You want to be reapplying this before 100 minutes anyways. Once an hour is really what they recommend anyways, because especially with the natural product, it's going to absorb and it's going to go into your bloodstream, which is great because it's all essential oils and wonderful products. But you always want to be reapplying when you're sweating it off and the sunscreen is coming off anyways. The same is true with a chemical sunscreen. You guys know that. Reapply, reapply. However, in this case, you're reapplying the good stuff and not the bad. So you really only need an SPF 10, but people were clamoring for an SPF 50, and Young Living does actually make one if that makes you feel better. You're going to need to reapply it regularly anyways when you're out in the sun, when you're swimming, and when you're sweating, it's going to wash off. So an SPF 10, don't panic if you go to the Young Living website and, oh my gosh, there's no 50, get the 10. The 10 is gonna do you what it needs to do. It's really no stronger. It doesn't have any additional strength than the 10. It just has a longevity. So sure, you can do 50 hours in the sun without burning. But you have to reapply every hour anyway, so what does it matter? So go and get yourself some mineral-based, natural, Young Living sunscreen. Do not go to your pharmacy and get the stuff with oxybenzone in it. I hope I've made that abundantly clear. If there's one message you can take away from sun season.